And we're back to more Starsector. Today we're going to be doing just a little bit of playing around on the side. This is a debug save I've set up so that we can do some testing. You see, this fleet is almost perfection. It just has one tiny teensy flaw that we need to fix. So that's going to require us to do a little bit of modification. But before we do, I'd just like to show you what the flaw is so you can see it in action. See, when we go into a fight, it's fine. We just take in a couple of large ships. We know we're going to be filling up on the smaller ones soon. And then we immediately get someone to grab the comm relays. That gives us enough resources that we can bring in more ships in a minute when the time comes. Alright, we've claimed all the buoys that we need, and we can deploy the rest of the fleet. Excellent. Now I actually let a few of them get out in front, but that's okay. Now you see, what we've done here is we've let these Conquest-class ships get ahead. Because when we go on full assault, the problem our little fighters face is they suck at killing fighters. They can kill a lot of things, but when it comes to those fighter ships, they keep getting distracted by them and they don't know what to do. Also, it ends up with them getting killed a few times. Not very often, but it is an annoyance. They're not good at taking out the fighter swarms that come along. And because they're bad at killing fighters, it kind of messes everything up. That's why these conquests are here. They show up, and as they go along, they start blapping the fighters out of existence because they've got really long point-range defense on them. And that's what sort of kills most of the fighters. It's not our little brawlers running around the place murdering everything. It's the point defense listed on these things. Or their big cannons which occasionally blap them out of the sky. So, fun as it is butchering these Radiant battleships, we still have a weakness versus fighter-based compositions that causes us a problem, and does cause us losses. As well as that, it causes distractions, our ships end up out of position. What we want to do is mix in some ships, basically get rid of the conquests and mix in some other cheap ships that are maybe a little bit bigger than these that can handle anti-fighter duty while still being able to add to our actual killing ability. For our first candidate to take up the role, I give you our Devastator Manticore. What I've done here is put safety overrides on it, hardened subsystem, solar shields. Basically the exact same that's going on here with our brawlers. But to do the anti-fighter thing, we've stuck on a Devastator cannon. This is a large ballistic thing that's kind of like a shotgun. It's terrible. You would never... You can only really mount this on capital ships, barring the Manticore for very, very special reasons. So this thing is usually terrible, but I figure on a close-range ship, this thing might actually work out pretty good. Let me give you just a brief look at it in action. You see, when you fire it, it does that. It's basically just a big blast that goes everywhere, which is kind of terrible. It just... You can't accurately hit anything. But I figure if we get up close and personal, it should be actually pretty decent. Not only that, that's actually a pretty good armor-piercing weapon, which is one of the things we're sort of lacking on our fleets. Our fleets here have... The only armor-piercing weapon we've got is the assault chain gun, and it does, what? 75 damage a shot. That's not very good versus heavily armored units. This, however, does a lot more damage per shot. It does 150 and fires 12 of them. We can, like, it's double the damage per hit, which means it should do more damage versus armor, and its DPS is 581. So it can wipe out fighters and missiles, and it should also be able to help. So I figure we mix in about 10 of these and see how it works out. Alright, testing time. We've got our fleet built up of about, I think we've got about 12 Manticores here. Yeah, we brought in way more Manticores than we needed, mixed in with a whole bunch of our brawlers. Plan here is to see how the Manticores do. Flying Coffin. Excellent, excellent. HSS Vengeance. Baller one out. Right, well... Yeah, let's see how this works out. This is going to be a little bit interesting. So we're going to need to claim these spots as quick as possible. Just the way this is designed. And let's find out... We basically find out at the end how the Manticores do. The whole strategy behind here is I'm trying to make a composition that you can give to anyone, just get them some simple basic ships and they can at least knock out the Remnant, because the Remnant are a nightmare from what I can tell for most people. Yeah, we'll deploy all of you and you can all go into combat as well, and then once we claim those 2 points we should be able to deploy the last of our ships and just go on full assault. The whole point behind this is we want to have a full assault fleet that just goes in and destroys stuff. Go on, take it. How has that not been captured yet? There we go. Fine. All deploy. I don't think we actually have enough ships. And now we hit full assault. And that's it, basically. We want to see how they work out. If they do better or worse. Or if they have... Well, if there's more losses. We can also check out the damage at the end and... Oh, you're so dead. Oh, actually the fighters didn't kill you. Okay, they maxed out your heat, but... Guys, you have giant Devastator cannons on top. Oh, well, you're going to use your built-in anti-flak canisters. Got it. Okay, let's just skip this forward to the end. We won, but yeah, a whole bunch of these Manticores died. Yeah, we're gonna check the intel on these things, but I'm pretty sure they were too weak sauce. Problem was we just didn't give them enough oomph. 1 second while we check out under combat results for this mod. Okay, so number 1 result, Brawler, Brawler, and then Manticore finally scoring, putting some numbers on the board. Devastator Cannon did okay, but it was almost equal by the dual light machine guns. They're point defense weaponry. Oh, yeah, no, there's got to be some changes made here. Let me try one more thing. So we popped back home and made a little bit of a change to the fleet. We swapped out the twin machine guns for light dual autocannons. More range. Plus, since they're not a point defense weapon, they'll get an actual range bonus from the ballistic rangefinder. I don't know how much this is going to help, but, you know, if we're going to try these things out, we might as well make sure that this design doesn't work at all, which I'm pretty confident it doesn't, but, you know, you got to test these things. Let's just set everything to full assault and see how they do. With the longer range on those machine guns, they should be able to do more damage from a distance, though. They are doing one thing very well. They are butchering the fighters. I'm having no fighter problems anymore. Though I don't think it's working out quite as well as we hoped. We might have to swap back in something else, because they just don't have enough oomph. Whereas the Brawlers are doing the majority of the damage, and their job is just to destroy the fighters, which they do an excellent job of. It's just everything else they kind of suck at. Even, I was really hoping that those Devastator cannons, once the shields went down, would shine, but they don't. They don't get in enough licks. See what I mean? Like, they've had a prime chance there to blast that thing, and its armor is still actually holding up quite nicely. The miniguns just work out so much better. Alright, now where is the big battleship? Oh, there it is. And you're nowhere near any of our Manticores. Oh, I think the large battleship likes to target the Manticores because they're bigger. It has a harder time targeting the Brawlers because they're smaller and more maneuverable. Oh, this is just kind of funny. Stop shaking that ass. You're just making the Brawler even happier. You can't turn fast enough. Oh, that's the kind of thing a human player would do. Ah, perfect. Well, here comes everyone. Oh, yeah, I think you just sucked on the torpedo. Oh, and dead. Yeah, they just don't quite have the same mobility. Putting those extra range guns on the Manticores, though, really helps them out. I think we'll have a few of them getting some decent damage in this round, but still, being held back by that Devastator cannon, I cannot find a good use for it. I think it's time to go to the next plan. Wow. 5 losses. Normally when I go with the other strategy, where we use the Conquest to do the actual soakage and point defense, yeah, we usually don't. We lose 1, maybe 2 Brawlers tops. So, yeah, I'm thinking they're a wash. This was a nice attempt and fun, and we really got a chance to try out the Devastator cannon, which I was really hoping would be better than it really was. But no, it really is. Bottom tier trash. For our next little test, I'm not even sure what this ship is called. I've seen them around, but they're pretty terrible usually. The Enforcer? Yeah. The thing is, this thing has a lot of ballistic slots. So what we've done is we've stick on a couple of light dual machine guns, an assault chain gun, and a couple of flak cannons. And this thing's job is not to be as good as the Brawler. I'm thinking if we maybe mix in a few of these, they should be able to do close to as good a job, while simultaneously blapping all of the fighters and missiles out of the sky. That's the hope. Whether or not that actually works out that way, well, only testing will determine. Thankfully, we've got this same group to engage with. Let's have a quick check-see. Well, there's the problem. We only have, we just need 16 more deployment points to deploy everything. We may actually have too many ships. Okay. Why did they do that? You know what? Doesn't matter. We're going to take all of the... We're going to get the rest of them in and then let them off the chain. These ships maybe... Oh, yeah, they've got burn drives as well. This is going to be interesting. They shouldn't be able to do as much damage, but they should be able to wipe out all of the fighters. Those flak cannons they've got on board should do a decent number on anything. Oh, and is that the last of them? Yep, that's... Well, actually, we need 4 more points. Okay, fine. We'll try and take 1 more of these command points. But assuming we do, we're just going to take the last fighter and then we're going to go full assault. The whole point of this is that we can just go full assault and be done with it. Wow, did you just kill something already? Oh, there goes the floating corpse. Something killed something. There we go. And we still have a whole bunch of deployment points left over. It's amazing that you can kill the Radiant fleets or these fleets with this small amount of ships we're bringing in. We're not even bringing in the max amount and we're still trashing them. Something to be said for just massing stuff. Ooh. Now, these things have one massive advantage over our brawlers. They have about 1200 armor. They're as heavily armored as a heavy cruiser. Well, actually no. They're as armored as a medium cruiser in the body of a destroyer. They're pretty chunky, so they can dish out a pounding. Also, those flak cannons should be... Yeah, the fighters aren't lasting very long. These things were annoying because they'd keep putting out fighters that would annoy everything, and oh, how are they still alive, guys? The flak cannons should be murderizing them. They're not quite as slaughterific as I was hoping, but they're working. Ah, damn it. Yeah, this thing somehow wandered off on its own. You know what? It can get distracted by the brawlers. They'll keep it entertained. They'll give it a nice little tickle in its nethers. Something it won't forget. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? Oh, you should run. You should be running. Oh my god, you should be running so hard. There is something to be said about surrounding one of these annoying things and blasting it into oblivion. Though, yeah, I'm not sure these ships are quite living up to what I was hoping. They definitely do destroy the fighters, and they're incredibly tough. They can take a huge pounding. But I'm betting we're going to have lost, yeah, we lost a fair few ships that round. It's just without the extra oomph that their brawlers are giving, that's just not recovering, that's just not working so well. But don't worry, we have another couple of options. Let's see. This next design, I'm actually quite hopeful for. It's the Sunderbus. Well, I'm calling it the Sunderbus. This thing is 3 heavy blasters mounted on top of a Sunder. Sunder, if you've never been familiar with him, has an ability, but it increases its beam damage by 50% for a short period of time, and it's got some charges to it, which is great if you put beam weapons on it. Problem is, it's made of glass. This thing has 250 armor. The brawler we're fielding has 450 armor. This has less armor than a frigate. It's just a glass cannon. However, we've stuck 3 large, heavy blasters on it. These things do, what is it, 500 damage a second a piece. That means that's 1500 DPS. That does 100% versus shields, armor, and hull. And each shot is just like, its damage per hit is 500, meaning this thing chews to armor like nobody's business, which is great. And then we've mounted 3 Vulcan cannons on top of the thing as well. So it should be able to deal with fighters. It should be able to deal like damage to everything. And it's got safety override, solar shielding, hardened subsystems. Exact same stuff we've crammed into the brawler. However, it's got 1,320 flux dissipation. It's pretty good. It should. I'm really hopeful that this thing can, you know, punch through and do a lot of damage. Question is whether or not it just keeps getting evaporated. We might have to... I might be willing to put build-in systems into this if it's good enough. All right, let's take our first spin. Dear Lord, that looks like a beautiful sight. Okay, deploy. You go over there. You go over there. You grab there, and the rest of you will just wait for a little bit. I am really curious to see how they do. They should realistically just be really nasty brawlers that are a bit slower and less tanky. So, we'll see. There we go. There's some more. All right. Probably should have committed more people to take those edges, but it's fine. It's fine. Come on. Come on. Claim that section. Claim it. And there we go. Everything's done. Full assault. Take them all down. And let's see how these things do in close combat. I am really curious. Definitely tank some damage. Oh, God! That thing knocked off half the health off that thing in just a couple of blasts. Oh, there goes one of the Sunderers. Well, they are made of glass. How you doing? Oh, you're also dead there. They don't last very long. They can hit hard. That's not the shielding. The shield's good. Oh yeah, they just don't have the dodge. We might have to put more engines in them. Well, that casualty list does not bode well. I was really hoping that would be... They would be better than that. Yeah, they basically just got butchered. They're too slow, they're too soft and squishy, they just get blasted apart. Also, they seem to be prioritized a lot more than the actual brawlers. The brawlers seem to almost get ignored somehow. Pity. Let's just check the intel and see what kind of damage they do. I'm really curious to see how that worked out. Oh, they actually came number 1 on damage. Yeah, so they've got the damage, they just don't have the survivability to keep up with the brawlers. The brawlers can just get in there, get stuff done, and still take hits and get... They're just faster somehow. I suppose we could tweak them a little bit. So I made a few changes just to see if we could get these to work right. I swapped out their guns for ion pulsers. These things have burst damage. They basically store up ammunition, then when you get up close, they blast it all out. They don't do as much damage per second if you just constantly fire. assuming you dip in, start firing, and then dip out, they should work out quite nicely. Let's see what happens when we go up against this fleet. Now, do remember, I'm using debug mode, but only for like moving around. The combat should still work out exactly the same. I think, yeah, we'll send all of these guys in first because they are maybe a little bit fast or a little bit slower than the other ships, so we can send them out to claim the points. Okay, we got all the ships in. Oof, that does not look good up front. I'm just waiting until the rest of the ships catch up before I hit the full max out. Oh yeah. See, that's the problem. These things are too big and they can't dodge. Not enough. How's everyone looking? I think it's almost about time we went full assault. Yep. Now, the reason I like doing the full assault, it just makes things faster. Otherwise, you're dancing around through the... you're tiptoeing through the tulips with them when you should be just getting up in their face and shooting them. Okay, that works pretty good. Oh, the EMPs. I forgot about that. This is an EMP weapon as well. So once their shields go down, they start getting EMP arcs, which disables weapons, engines, all sorts of stuff. And ooh, yeah, watch out for those torpedoes. They will do an awful lot of damage. All right, let's see how they do against this guy. Oh, not good. Yeah, getting up. Yeah, you're dead. Yep. Probably shouldn't have been following that guy. I gave him the kiss of death just by looking at him. Oh, I'm liking the EMPs though. EMPs are messing up with their weapons, and if we can get them in the engines, that like there's front launchers on them, they're all shut down right now because they've been EMP'd. Ah, so if we can just get, damn it, give me a better look. Oh, look at that guy. He's getting in EMP shots on the side. That's interesting. Now, I don't think the Sunderers are going to work out for what we were intending, but I'm thinking I got an idea for using EMP weapons a little bit more liberally into our composition. Oh, this is the point I was talking about. See all these ships milling around here? They're trying to kill fighters. So instead of going and attacking the big ships, they're just milling around like... it's so annoying. So we need to get in some sort of anti-fighter system. Since the Sunderers are not working out, I think maybe we go bigger. We bring in bigger ships. Ooh, I got an idea for that. But no, first I want to try something else. I'll just finish these guys off and we'll have a quick look at the stats. One thing I am liking about the CMP is it tends to shut down their engines and their weaponry. You can see it arcing all over them. Yeah, I've got an idea. Alright, we've gone back to our original composition, which is brawlers with a few of these heavy battlecruisers mixed in to add damage and anti-fighter. Now the thing is, we've made a little bit of changes to the brawlers. Basically, we ripped out one of the dual light machine guns, or light dual machine guns, and replaced it with an ion cannon. This thing has one more point cost to it. It drastically reduces the damage. This thing has like damage of 208. This only has damage of 50, but it comes with EMP. Got a 25% chance to arc onto weapons or engines if it hits the hull or armor, meaning the moment their shields go down, they're going to be getting hit twice a second with a 50% chance every second of getting EMP damage to their weapons, engines, or armor. And we have a lot of these. We have a lot of these we're going to be bringing to the fight. So the theory is if we bring these along, the moment something's shields go down, they should pretty much become useless. Well, that's the theory. Now we just got to run a bunch of testing to make sure it works. Here comes the swarm. Alright, now EMP should start affecting it from the rear, yeah. And it's knocking out its weapons. Okay, it's not really the killer I was hoping for, but we'll give it a bit of a try. Where is everyone? Guys? Oh yes, I told them to avoid some ships because they were doing dumb stuff. Like, you're going to have this annoying problem where suddenly 10 guys are going to chase down one ship, and it's such a waste of firepower. So occasionally I tell them to stop doing that. Now this swarm over here is, going to chase down these two. They're dedicating the entire fleet towards killing 2 ships. Now at some point they're going to change their mind and turn around. Ugh, Muppets. And that ship is now isolated on its own, and it's probably going to end up dead. It's okay. That's why we have. That's why we bring spares. Ouch! Those torpedoes really hurt. These things can take an absolute pounding and just keep going. It's really frustrating. But on the bright side, don't think you're going to survive much longer. Yeah, here comes the swarm, and they've heard about the things you've done. No teleporting away, buddy. Oh my god. They're like, what are you doing? There's like a whole storm. Just get up. You're on literally the most aggressive stance possible, and you're like, nope, now there you go. I'm not sure the EMP is worth it, but it is hilarious to watch. And finish them off. There we go. And they can run down the last of them. I ran 10 tests. 5 with our brawlers equipped with the EMP cannons, and 5 with our brawlers equipped with just the light machine guns. The EMP cannon ones came out slightly ahead. They lost only 10 brawlers and 1 conquest across all 5 engagements. The light machine guns lost 13 brawlers and 1 conquest. Still within the margin of error, though I did find that EMP ones were more consistent. The problem is when you're dealing with the Radiant battleships, sometimes they come equipped with very nasty torpedoes. And when they had the very nasty torpedoes, they tended to commit on your ships and just blast them down with the torpedoes. Having the EMP cannons tended to knock out those and reduce the chances of them getting the kills off, which I think is why we came out slightly ahead. This one, it's just, I saw one lose all its shields, then blink straight forward and blast a conquest to bits, because it just didn't care. It will suicide to get one of your ships. So let's do one last test, because I'm thinking we're definitely putting an EMP cannon on all of our brawlers from now on. What we have here is a level 10 deserter with a lot of nasty ships. Lots of heavy armor, lots of fighters, lots of missiles. This should be the absolute worst for us. We're going to go in and see what we do. So the battle plan. This is what I normally do when I go in. Grab a couple, you head over there. Grab a couple of you guys, you head over there. A couple down the middle. And then one of these goes each side. Reason is we don't know which direction they're going to come from, and we want to have our point defense set up and ready to go. Then we speed up time a bit so that this actually takes... Otherwise you're waiting for minutes on your testing to work out. And once they claim that center point, which hopefully they should do in a reasonable time frame, we'll bring in a few more reinforcements. Come on. Done. Now we should only need to claim 2 more points. Hopefully they don't, see that? They're wussing out. Get on the point. I don't know why they do this. It's sometimes they'll just run away from one ship, even though they outnumber 3-1, and they're absolute badasses. But okay, now we only have enough space for 1 more. But you know what? We can wait a little bit longer. While we're waiting for that, we'll get rid of that, and we're going to put 2 heavy escorts on these. Namely because we don't want them getting shot up by a big ship rocking up and just blasting them. It can happen, especially versus the Radiant. That's that done. Perfect. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that, and then we'll start letting the ships come in. Hopefully these ones that, come on, just get towards the combat. And once everyone's sort of grouped up, we get ready for the major push. Those 4 are going off on their lonesome. That's fine. Yeah, great, that ship's dead. I love it. What are you doing back here? Are you going out for a coffee? Looking for something? This is a very common thing. They just don't decide to go into combat. I think it's because there's just too many ships. Anyway, full assault. Now, full assault is incredibly useful. It tells the pilots to stop being pansies, as in these one backs here, and everyone to get in on things. That's it. Now at this point, we'll just keep an eye on our ships to make sure we don't have to do anything. But all of these, remember, have 1 EMP cannon on them, which means the moment they start hitting hull, yeah, EMPs start affecting their weapons, which makes them... Yeah, and it also takes out their engines. That one's now drifting. That one... No, not drifting. Now it's... Yep. Oof. Yep. There, it's drifting now. It just makes them much easier to prey upon. This was an absolute slaughter. Oh my god. How you doing, buddy? No, you don't look so good. You've been EMP'd to bits. We kill you faster, but the corpses of your friends are getting in the way. Okay. Anything left? Yeah, it's absolute chaos out there. Oh my god. What are you doing out there on your own? That's right, just... We'll get you... the moment we do that, though, it turns off full assault, which is an annoyance. But once they've all grouped back up again... Oh my god, and that thing needs to go. Actually, here's one handy thing. You can do a full assault, and their full assault AI will go the way it is. And you can also do eliminate, dedicated attack. The dedicated attack is very important in my opinion because it allows you to get brawlers up on top of a target. You want brawlers on top of one of these. Namely, it distracts them. Otherwise, they could kill one of your conquests. Your conquests are pretty squishy in comparison, and oh my god. Yeah, the EMPs are just... Yeah, I really like them. They're totally slowing down their ability to defend themselves. And I think that's about it. Okay, that's that one down. Let's get... Oof. Yeah, everyone's off doing their own thing, but we'll get an eliminate order out on that one as well. That should be the end of it. What damage? Ooh, you took some hull damage. That was pretty risky. But I suppose we are quite... Technically, we're quite a small fleet because we've taken so many frigates with us. And then we just let them run down the rest. They're all on full assault, and... What are these guys doing? I think they're probably trying to run down... Oh, this guy. And done. 1 loss. 1 ship was destroyed. We lost 1 brawler. Consider recovery. And yeah, sure, we'll take that. What's difficult recoveries? Yeah, no, we only lost 1 brawler in that entire thing. That is, yeah, I like this fleet design. It works out quite well. Though it does need one... There's one more thing I would like to try. The thing is, these conquests are great, but their really only purpose is they do help with the damage dealing, but their main purpose is the point defense, which kills the fighters, which lets the brawlers roam free. So I'd like to try one more ship, just cycle out the Conquest and replace it with something a little bit more zippy. Now, I know this is a different location, but we had to run around in circles for a while. This is the exact same fleet that we're up against, and this time we're bringing along one of these things. I can't remember what these things are called. The Odysseys? Yeah, they're battle cruisers. They're nice, but the main reason I'm bringing this one in, it's fast. It's got a speed of about 70 by default. So we'll take in you two. Take, yeah, a whole bunch of those. And it's pretty much the same thing again. I deploy two there. And the interesting thing here is this thing's got a built-in boost system, which means it's incredibly quick. It can almost keep up with the actual brawlers. That makes it kind of useful because going out ahead is what normally the brawlers going in on their own is normally what gets them killed. So a little bit of mobility on this ship is great. Has less punch from what I can tell, but I suppose we'll find out shortly. Guys, you want to take care of that? Alright, I think it's time we say got rid of that and maybe assign you guys some escorts. A couple of heavy escorts here to help you guys out. Might not hurt, because I see that Radiant battleship coming and it's going to mincemeat you guys if we're not careful. Deploy, okay. You got that point? Perfect. There we go. We're almost using all of our points now, which is amazing. Get rid of that. Okay, we're going to let everyone group up, and then once everyone groups up or is in the center, then we're going to do a bit of a push. Oh, try not to get yourself killed on your first day out. You know what? Let's hit that one with a bit of a... Yeah, we need some distractions in there. Otherwise, that thing might just kill the Odyssey straight up. Wow. Yeah. That's what you get for going too far forward. And... yeah, I think it's just going to straight up die. God damn it. Well, that was a bust. Bit of a do-over. This time we kept the battlecruiser back just a little bit more so that we've got time for all the ships to go in. Hey guys, come on. What are you doing? Just get forward. Stop faffing about. Ugh. Yeah, nice. This annoys me. This thing's going to get itself killed just by charging right in there. What are you guys doing? Why would you do that? You're a steady captain and you decide to just run right up to it and headbutt it? Ugh, so dumb. Well, at least the EMPs are making a difference, though. Yeah, you're still going to overflex. Ugh, full assault. Let's just get this over with. My God, that's so dumb. Okay, let's try this again. This time, though, we're going to bring two cattle bruisers. Why not? Yeah, there we go. That might work. Who knows? I want to try a whole bunch of different stuff. What the? This is the exact same fleet, so why is it giving us a different map screen? You know what? Don't care. You can go there. In fact, we're going to keep the two of them together. Yeah, that should work. Alright, charge. Okay, I think that's enough of that. We can get rid of that. Get rid of that. Give you both heavy escorts for now. Well, you're going to die. That's what you get for going off on your own. Okay, I think we're just about ready to go full assault. Yeah, like... damn it, guys. Just get in there. We'll keep a quick eye in here. Now, these ships are not really meant to do an awful lot of damage. Their job is to kill fighters, of which they do an excellent job. Fighters just sort of evaporate when they go anywhere near them. You need to be focused down, maybe. Actually, pull some of these guys back a bit. I don't want you getting yourself killed again. That also turns off full assault, unfortunately, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And I think we're good. We can go full assault again. Nice. And then they should just get swarmed and murdered. Perfect. Fighters are getting annihilated. The enemy is getting destroyed. And yeah, you don't want to jump closer to these guys. That's a bad idea. Excellent. No, don't drop the shields. They've got EMP weaponry. Yeah, that's, yep. Oh, yep, there you go. Venting while getting shot by EMP weaponry is not a good choice. Okay, so now some of your engines are gone. That's going to affect your mobility a bit. Oof. Hey, stop hiding behind the corpses of the enemy, of your friends. That's just... And I think we're done. Yeah, you're pretty much toasty. Anything else left? Ugh. Don't fly off on your own. You're just going to get yourself killed. You know that, right? Dead. Perfect. Let's just speed this along and see if we can, if any of them need any help. So, what was the point of all of this testing? Well, the point was, I wanted to make a tutorial about the combat in this game and how to actually take on remnant fleets, because all the tutorials I see out there involve, well, you having very expensive or very rare ships, or difficult to acquire ships, or basically a lot of S mods built into them, or just really great piloting skills. To do a proper tutorial, though, I want something that I can hand to just an average player, and they should be able to pull it off without having to have very expensive ships or very expensive things. However, I do need to make sure that I've tested all the different variables to try and make it the most efficient fleet possible, because you don't want to be doing updates like 6 months from now realizing, oh, I could have done it better. I mean, all of this testing that I did also made me realize that ion cannon is actually quite useful. As well as that, after doing a bunch more testing with these battle cruisers down here, these are actually quite good in terms of not dying. The conquests have a tendency to die more often because they'll get themselves in a situation and you can't reverse them fast enough. These ones, they start getting out of position, you can tell them to run away, they move at like twice the speed of these things almost, so they can actually survive. Though I still wouldn't recommend them for newer players on the grounds that the conquests are just easier to obtain. But yeah, late game, this might be sort of the optimum fleet to have. So testing like this is sort of like how I spend a bunch of my time, just to figure out how stuff works. I also did a whole bunch of testing with some other ships that I'm not going to go through, otherwise this video is going to be well over the 50-minute mark. Though there is one thing I want to try later on with those Omen-class ships. There's these ships that have these incredible shielding, and I think we can just wear our enemies down by just running them around the map, but, you know, I'll leave that for another quick video. I think the rest of the week's going to be mostly, I got to finish out an episode on this, and then I want to do a bunch of tutorials. I've got to finish off a tutorial on this, and I've got to do a tutorial on Oxygen Unincluded on how to do rocket interiors. I've been meaning to do one of those for a while. But I'm going to cut this out here. I hope you enjoyed what was basically me showing you some of the dumb stuff I get up to in the background and waste way too many hours of my life doing. And good luck.